Here we are at TaylorMade Stables, January 20th, 2012, on the indoor with Jazz. I've used Jazz for some of our little driving techniques over the last couple of weeks. He is a Morgan. He's owned by Susan Carey, and he is the son of DJJJ Ebony Gold, or Stallion. And today we're going to talk a little bit about hands. So with our hands, it's important, and we'll just concentrate on the hands here. Whatever, particularly when you're starting to drive, you are probably better off driving or long lining with the hold that you do when you actually ride. And there are several good techniques in driving, but what you must avoid is an overreaction on the part of the hands. So as we travel around here, even to get this horse to turn as we are now, there is very little movement of the hands and the wrists. You know, the wrists and the fingers have a minimal amount of movement. There is in the shoulder and the elbow, the pliability and the flexibility to be able to turn this horse. As you can see coming around the top end here, there's hardly any movement at all in the hand because there's no need to. I have a direct contact with the horse's mouth, and when I'm training the horse, obviously it is my voice and it's my hands are the main contact. But if I'm going to overreact with my hand, then I'm going to get an overreaction from him. So it's very little. And change these hands to this here, like this, and then another one like this. And you notice each time, and I'm not going to explain all the techniques in this session, but at this stage I am able to hold the horse quietly. I'm able to hold a bridge with the horse, and it's important that that bridge I do not drop that bridge and it falls in among my feet. An absolute no-no. See the little reaction I had there, a little play out with the lines, and walk, walk, boy. It's important that he understands what I want. Most driving is done with the left hand. All driving is done with the left hand. The right hand takes the bridge and allows us to turn and manipulate and also shorten and lengthen. If I want to shorten here and here, there's never, ever, ever, ever a creeping up the reins. If you creep up the reins of the lines, then you're going to find your quality of contact is gone, is lessened, and the horse may very well take off. And make no bones about it, if that horse takes off, I'm going to stop him within 2 horse lengths of himself and get control. If I have been creeping up the lines, then there's a fair chance that I'll drop a line and there's a mistake. The right hand holds the whip in here. There's nothing in here. Nothing in here except the whip. So when you drive, either whatever hold you have, I've got it through those 2. It can be all 3, but I never put a line in among my whip, because my whip must be independent. The whip sits forward, pointing basically towards the left ear of the horse. Thumbs never ever compress on the lines, because if you compress the thumb, it makes the wrist collapse, and if you make the wrist collapse, then the braking, the blocking, the brakes on your lines then are compromised, and you're holding it with your thumb. What in fact happens is your hand is cocked, your wrist is cocked, and it's here by closing the little finger like that, that you can hold the horse. That is why I continue to have this with 2. This line with 2. So you don't jam the fingers down, the thumbs down on the lines, because you tend to collapse the wrist, and that gives a great weakness. So keep it cocked. And once again, walk. Do not get in a complicated situation, particularly with a horse like this. The horse is rather energetic, and find that you, by loosening the line, you're going to run into difficulty. So allow yourself a decent bridge, particularly to keep the lines off, off the floor and away from your feet. You notice on here, there's a little piece of lace. That can come across your little finger, and that will keep your lines up off the floor. I don't particularly care for that, but you'll find lots of people in the show ring do that. If I need to change my lines, particularly for out cross country, I like to have my hands free to do and drop the lines and pick them up, etc. So once again, just a little revision. Make sure when you start driving and long lining that you hold the lines as best you can, and the more comfortable you are, the better you are. And if it's in your riding position, great. Even if you're long lining on the ground, make sure that the lines are to your left-hand side, both lines are to your left-hand side, that you do not straddle them, you do not allow your feet to get entangled. Likewise, when you drive, there's always a bridge in your reins, in your lines, to make sure that they do not get around your feet. So here I'm just going to ask this horse to turn fairly quickly or fairly tightly, and he is turning now in a little, it's about a 6-meter circle, a little bit more than that. And you notice to get the horse to turn, there's a little ask, a little ask, a little ask, and I'll ask him to straighten. And then I'll ask him to turn down the center line. And you notice, because it's very tight, there is a deal of hand, but when I ask him to straighten, very little use of hand. So remember, the quality of hand is one where if you're going to educate, then you educate, don't get too loud with it.
Okay.